My Toastmasters club is having their club officer elections tonight, and I have been nominated for not one, not two, not four, but 3 positions on the club executive. I've been nominated for president, secretary, and treasurer role. And to be quite honest, the one that I'm most interested in is president. So the elections are tonight, and we'll see how that goes. Meeting is done. I am home now. Elections were had, and I, by acclamation, am the new president of the Speak From Experience Advanced Toastmasters Club, and my term starts on July 1st. I've been wanting to go club hopping for a while, and by club hopping, I mean Toastmasters clubs. So tonight, I visited a club called the Glass and Gavel Club. They meet in the East End of Toronto, and upon arrival, I was asked if I would take on the role of general evaluator. I find that often happens when I go visit clubs. I can pretty much almost always count on that I will be asked to take on one of the meeting roles. Last time I went to visit High Park speakers, somebody asked me, "Oris, do you have a role?" And I said, "Not yet." And sure enough, I was asked to be the grammarian at that meeting. And I was awarded the Spark Plug Award as a gift for my contribution to the meeting tonight. Well, I've been active. I've been pretty active the last couple of weeks since I've been getting over that cold that I had. I went for a hike. I went to a Toastmasters conference and attended the International Speech Contest. I went to a friend's birthday party, and I went to 3 Toastmasters meetings. I was general evaluator at 2 of them, and I was elected as president at 1 of them. And having been out and about for quite a bit for the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to feel my introvert side starting to assert myself a little bit again. And that's how it goes, that endless cycle of trying to balance my introvert and my extrovert energies. I finished listening to the audiobook Memento Games, which is the 5th book in the Expanse series. The next book is Babylon's Ashes, and I've got about an 8-week wait before that one becomes available on Libby. In the meantime, I'm listening to the audiobook called Into Thin Air by John Krakauer. It is based on the 1996 doomed expedition to the top of Mount Everest. I became interested in Mount Everest several years ago. I say several years ago, but it's more like 10, 15 years ago, when I heard a speaker named Scott Kress gave a presentation. He had successfully climbed Mount Everest. And one of the interesting things that I learned about Mount Everest is that a successful climb isn't about getting to the top. A successful climb is about making it back down again alive. And in the doomed 1996 expedition that John Krakauer wrote about in his book Into Thin Air, not everybody made it back down again. I was editing episode 4 of my vlog, and there's a scene in there where I captured a moment of a particular writing spot down by the river. And I also acknowledged in that clip that I haven't really been doing much writing lately. And it's true. I've kind of stalled out with progress on my memoir. I took a break, and it's turned into a long, ongoing break. One of my goals for 2024 is to get a draft in front of a developmental editor, just to get an outside look at it and see where the gaps are. Had an idea too for editing for it is to record myself reading out loud the chapters that I've written already. It's not so much that I'm making it into an audiobook, although it could potentially be used for an audiobook. It's an editing trick. By reading out loud, it should be easier for me to spot as to what parts might not work and what gaps I still might need to fill. It's just that given that I am working on a music project, that I want to do some Toronto urban hiking. I want to get onto the Caledon Trail, and I'm president of a Toastmasters club starting in July. Is that adding yet another thing to my plate? I'm reviewing some of the documentation to get ready for my role as club president starting on July 1st. Reviewing my duties and responsibilities as the club president. Got a day trip coming up to St. Catharines later this week. We're working out the logistics, the plan for it. The plan is to go with a couple of buddies hiking in the Niagara Gorge. Got a couple of other buddies there too that they don't really want to go to the Niagara Gorge, but still want to see me. It's kind of nice to feel wanted. So probably we're going to have what we're calling an after party to meet up with them after the hike. I was expecting an important package to arrive today, and I was advised that it would be arriving between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And by about 5:20, it had not arrived yet. And it was starting to look like I was going to have to deal with the issue tomorrow morning, which meant the possibility of having to delay or possibly even scuttle my day trip to St. Catharines. Fortunately, finally, near 6:20 or so, it did arrive. It was late, but it did arrive, which means I'm on track. I'm still free and clear to do my day trip tomorrow, and for that, I am grateful. It's road trip day. Course plotted and laid in. Take her out, Mr. Sulu. Engage. After I picked up my buddies Matt and Adrian, our first stop was in Port Dalhousie. I wanted to see the Neil Peart Pavilion. Then we went to the Niagara Gorge, where we did some hiking. Descending into the gorge was more challenging than I was ready for, as the terrain was pretty rugged. Going up was a lot easier because staircase. Okay.
Well, you're setting the pace, so hurry up. It's not that high. Look, it's not that high.
Ross, who would you rather fight? Andre the Giant or The Rock? Really? But both sides.
Made it, Oris. Good job, man. Let's take a look down. Yeah, it's pretty far. All right, high five.
That's easy compared to... Then dinner, where Lynn and Mark joined us at the Flying Saucer in Niagara Falls. After I dropped off Adrian and Matt at home, it was time to head back home myself. I made it back home again. I made it to St. Catharines and back home again. Slava Bohu, as my father would have said. He used to say that when I dragged him out to St. Catharines for a day trip when I had a building there, and sometimes I would drag him out with me there to help me out to do some handyman work there, and we would make it safe back to my house. That was what he would say. Slava Bohu, praise God. Yes, this trip was symbolic for me. Symbolic given the ordeal that I've gone through, the health challenges and mobility challenges I've gone through over a 3-year period from like 2019 to 2022, 2023, arguably 4-year period. And so getting back out again, reconnecting with some of my St. Catharines buddies. We even did a little bit of hiking around the Niagara Gorge area. And it was just great. Just kind of felt like, reclaiming my life. End of May is coming up, and I am still working on episode number 4 of my vlog. so much for keeping up with one episode a month thing. It seems that I'm veering more in the direction of getting into doing one every 2 months. I'm on the agenda to give a speech at my next Toastmasters meeting. The project that I'm doing is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. And giving this speech will be my last speech, I think, to complete level 2 in the presentation mastery pathway. And the speech I'm thinking to give is the "If your heart is racing, it's your turn to speak" story. And I've titled it, "I'm Not Cut Out for Public Speaking." I just figured that'll be a pretty provocative title to give for a speech. Level 2 in the presentation mastery pathway consists of 3 speech projects. I've already done the first 2. Understanding your communication style, that was the Fear of Angry Woman speech. Effective body language. For that speech project, I think that was the speech that I gave called Tapestry, which was based on one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, also called Tapestry. I went club hopping again tonight, and this time I visited a club called Fellowship Club. I saw a posting, one of the people that I know on Facebook had posted a public invitation to come out to visit their club, and I thought, yeah, why not? It seemed to fit my schedule today, so I went. It was cool. One of the people I talked to there told me about another club called Great Minds Advanced Club. I think that's kind of what makes it interesting, the club hopping journey. I can go find clubs to visit by looking up on websites, but I think it's much more fun to go to clubs, talk to people, find out about other clubs that they are affiliated with or are members of, and then add those clubs to my short list. I think that makes it kind of a more interesting way to pick out clubs to visit during my club hopping spree. I haven't been doing much writing lately. It seems like I've stalled on those fronts. My memoir, haven't done much to progress it in about a year. And a story that I've been working on is kind of stalled out. I just add about 50 words, 100 words here and then every once in a while. And I've been asking myself, question I've been asking myself lately is that because I've been putting a lot of my creative and cognitive energy into my videos, my vlogs, and now my 30 days of talking to the camera videos. And if I were to pause those, would I actually get back to my writing? Or do I have to pause those to get back to my writing, or is that just an excuse? I'm at Etobicoke Civic Center where I'm giving a speech tonight. Am I ready for the speech? Well, we'll see. Well, speech is done now. Meeting is over. And was I ready? Well, yes and no. Yeah, I was ready for a part of it. The middle part and the ending, was a little bit underprepared for that. And I got a lot of good positive feedback, and as well as a few growth points for some of the areas where I was a bit underprepared. And, I think of that speech, it was kind of like my first draft, first time giving it. How much time did I want to spend preparing for it, going for, trying to make it a perfect speech instead of just kind of showing up and presenting it as it was. And I'm trusting the club and the other members to provide evaluations to help me tune it up for the next time that I give it. Because I would like to give another version of this speech at another time. And here it is. I have received my certificate of completion for completing level 2 in the presentation mastery pathway. I wanted to add a section of Jimi Hendrix' Foxy Lady to my episode 4 vlog, but YouTube went and blocked my video because of the copyright content. So I cooked up my own pseudo-cover version. It's nowhere near the quality of Jimi Hendrix' version, the one that I wanted to use, but I just don't want to spend any more time on this. I took a couple of days off over the weekend from talking to the camera, and now it's June already. Boy, I sure had a pretty busy week last week. Several Toastmasters events going on. The book 6 of The Expanse, Babylon, what's it called? Babylon's Ashes. It's book 6 of the Expanse series. It's become available on the Libby app. So I've signed out the audiobook. I've got 3 weeks to listen to it. And so far I'm up to chapter 3. I went club hopping again tonight. I visited another Toastmasters club and had a really great time, actually. Of all the clubs that I visited in the last couple of weeks, this one had the largest turnout and just like a fabulous energy, room full of energy. And I even went for a social after, got to meet some of the members, and just had a great time. And kind of feel like I'm going through that mode, like I feel like I'm falling in love with my life again, which is kind of a cool space to be in. Today, I am grateful for having a working washing machine. I am grateful for scented fabric softener, which smells nice. And I am grateful that I bought myself this black t-shirt. It's been a long time since I wore black t-shirts, and kind of like adding it back into my wardrobe. One of my gratitudes for today, I am grateful for the package of frozen berries in my freezer. I am grateful for the defrost function of my microwave oven, and I am grateful for the bowl of kefir with berries that I had this afternoon. I went to another Toastmasters meeting tonight and was called on to be a speaker evaluator for one of the club members. After I came back home from after the meeting, it was a nice day, nice outside. I decided to go for a walk, and as I headed out, it started raining. It was pouring pretty hard. The rain didn't last long, but I aborted my walk. I was planning to go for a longer walk than I actually did, so I turned back early and scurried back through the rain. I've got a working plan to go on a hike on the Caledon Rail Trail on Thursday, but weather app is now showing 30% chance of rain on Thursday. I skipped a bunch of days and now I'm back. Today is the day that I was supposed to go do the Caledon Rail Trail hike, but the weather forecast was calling for rain, and me and my buddy, we decided to postpone it. That plus my throat was feeling a little bit scratchy, decided to take the day off, stay at home, take a day of rest. Hopefully this won't turn into another full-blown thing like what I had last month. Oh my God, it's already June 15 and I am still sitting on my episode 4 vlog. I'm thinking that after I get this one out and published, maybe I'm going to take a bit of a break from the vlogs. Got a few other things going on in my life, and somehow I just don't have the same enthusiasm for doing the monthly vlog cycle as I have before. I'm sure I'll get back into it at some point. But yeah, if I've been sitting on this one for 2 months, then maybe I just need to give myself a legitimate break. Today, I had the last meeting at my Advanced Toastmasters Club, the last meeting of the 2023-2024 program year. Our next meeting is in 2 weeks, July 3rd, and that will be the first meeting of the 2024-2025 Toastmasters year. And that is when my presidency officially starts. And I'm already starting to feel the imposter syndrome starting to kick in. What if the more experienced members on the executive team see right through me, see I don't know what I'm doing? Well, anyways, that's what the monkey chatter going on inside my head is. Still, gotta set that aside. There's things to be done. Got to set up the first club executive meeting, preferably before the July 3 club meeting, and get some work started preparing our club success plan. I got a new twist in my Toastmasters game. I have been invited to be the club coach for a Toastmasters club in Calgary. It's a struggling club. They have only 8 members and would like to grow the club. And I've been asked if I would be their club coach, and I'm probably going to say yes. I want to get a jump start on the club success plan for my Toastmasters club, and I'm wondering if I'm jumping the gun a little bit or starting that prematurely. I dug up a copy of a club success plan that I created several years ago when I was president of High Park Speakers Toastmasters Club, and I thought I would use that as a starting point. Also, one of the members of the incoming executive, he sent me a copy of a club success plan that SV created several years ago, and they're both in different formats. They have different sets of questions. So which one do I use? I did find also an online tool under the Club Central part of the Toastmasters International website. And the online tool has a feature for inputting the various parts of the Club Success Plan online. But the 2024-2025 version is not available yet, which is one of the things that has me wondering if I'm jumping the gun too soon here. And the 2023-2024 version is editable, but it's like, I don't want to update that one because that one's already kind of, supposedly done. But I did find out that I can download an in-progress version of the 2023-2024 plan, and the resulting download is an editable PDF file. So that is what I'm going with. Okay, I just had to show this off for a bit. This is kefir with some frozen berries that I defrosted in the microwave oven, and just kind of showing it off because I like the way it swirls around after I stirred it with the spoon. I spent some time this afternoon working on my current song in progress, Recalled to Life, which is the 4th song in the Tale of Two Cities music project that I'm doing. I've got the melody done up for a couple of more verses. In fact, I've only got one verse left to compose a melody and work out the chord structure for it. And then that verse segues into another verse that I've already written. I think I'm going to put in an instrumental track, an instrumental section before the 100 days verse. I think that's a good logical place to put the instrumental break. Leave some room there for a solo. And then tie that into the final verse, which is the actual dialogue between Dr. Manette and Mr. Jarvis Laurie. July 1st, Happy Canada Day. July 1st is also the day that my parents came to Canada, and technically I came with them, and then about 4 months later I was born. So happy Canada Day. July 1st is also the start of the new Toastmasters year, so it's now official. I am now the club president, no longer the club president-elect or the incoming. I am now the club president of Speaking from Experienced Advanced Toastmasters. I am pleased to brag about the fact that we already had our first executive meeting and that we completed our club success plan. And I'm happy about that. We have our first regular club meeting of the year coming up this Wednesday. I'm a bit concerned that that's in 2 days, and we so far don't have any speakers or evaluators signed up. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Not sure if that means we're going to have to cancel the meeting or something. We'll see what happens. And that's it for this 30 days of talking to the camera. Not all 30 of those days were contiguous, but I stuck with it and got through it anyways. I'll see you in the next one.